Hello there and welcome. So one of my viewers recently has asked me if I do a commentary on my riding, which of course I'm very happy to do. So commentary is a very useful tool when learning to ride, and actually when actively riding, even if you're not being trained. Of course, every day is a school day, as we say. Thank you very much. So as instructors, we would advise commentary. It's often introduced at advanced level rather than test or CBT level, but it does have a benefit for all riders at all stages. So even with your module 1, your slow speed manoeuvres, things like that, talking yourself through something really helps. It's a useful tool because it keeps you focused and it's like a form of self-coaching. And in addition, if you're quite nervous, you'll find that concentrating on the job in hand rather than worrying about what's going on in your head and being nervous, commentary is a great way of diverting those nerves away, as I've mentioned before in previous videos. So whether you're a regular rider or whether you've become a new rider or not ridden for some time, commentary can be a great tool because it helps you pace what you're doing out on the road and it sharpens your focus. Because the whole point of safe riding is identifying hazards and reacting to them correctly. And you'll find as well with commentary, you can't mention everything all the time, and sometimes your focus level might be so high that you can't talk about certain things, and you certainly won't be able to talk about everything that's occurring, because the brain can obviously work a lot quicker than your mouth can, in most cases anyway. So there's two parts to it. There's the analysis of the road itself, and some commentaries may focus exclusively on the road itself, and some commentaries will also focus on machine control. The best put together commentaries focus on both. They're a great blend of both, so we can see that a student is identifying things correctly on the road, and we can see their thought processes and how they intend to use that vehicle to negotiate the hazards safely. So it's a stop junction, so we're going to come in gently on both brakes, easing off the front and staying with the rear. Must come to a complete stop because it's a stop. Eyes to the end of the road and away we go. So I'll be taking the next turning left. I'm going to straighten this bit of road up. You wouldn't do that on a CBT or your test because it wouldn't be acceptable. But when you're out on your own and you've passed your test, if it's safe, if it doesn't upset or affect another road user, it's absolutely fine. Just being aware of any vehicles that may emerge along here. You know, I'm always cautious where there's parked vehicles, someone could emerge and you could be unseen. So just going for a third gear for this bend at the moment. And as it tightens up, I'm just going to straighten the bike as much as I can and make a second slight turn there, but I had to change gear on the bend there. Right, lovely clear view, so brisk acceleration, smooth though, and away we go. So we're looking down that road as far as the eye can see. As we approach a petrol station, I'm planning to move into lane 2 already, and I'm looking across onto the forecourt for anyone that might emerge. Can't see a lot, but what if someone comes from the back of the building? But no, it's all good, so now I can relax in that respect. You can see a large goods vehicle ahead in lane 1, followed by 2 cars. Very slowly closing the gap, so I'm going to check my mirror, lifesaver signal, smoothly move out in good time. We never want to get too close to any other vehicles. Creating space is essential. Temporary warning there of an uneven road surface. The HGV won't be at 70 and neither is the car following it, so I'm just going to maintain a position in lane 2 at the moment. There's no one behind me, so I'm not inconveniencing anybody. He's turning off. Very slight increase in a little bit of the rain there. And we can see that the road is damp in places. Still maintaining my position in lane 2 because of the LGV. Now I've got vehicles, 2 LGVs in the lay-by up ahead there. So the question is, do I stay in lane 2 in case they come out, or do I move in? Well, there's no one behind me and there's no one close enough to be worried about, so do you know what, I'll just delay it a little bit longer. I'll move across now because I'm happy. We can see a bridge there, and we can actually see a slip on in the distance, so we know that very soon we will be meeting potentially other traffic joining. There's a lay-by there, it is clear. It was signposted earlier back there with a parking sign ahead. I always look at bridges in case there's anyone messing around that might be dropping stuff onto the main carriageway. There's nothing in lane 2, so I'm planning to move across should I need to because of the slip road. There we go, he's moving across early. Do I need to move across? Okay. So I'm looking well ahead. I can just see a warning triangle of some description ahead there. 2 vehicles behind, but very nicely spaced, so it's nice and safe. We can just see the countdown for our exit. The next road sign and the warning triangle shows us that vehicles are joining. Nice early signal. 6th gear at the moment is good on this bike for my flexibility. I'm looking across early, there's no one there, so a nice smooth exit line. And reading the various road signs, warning of cycles, give way, route signs, clearway ends, 2-way traffic, using both brakes, front first, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 gears, first gear, let's come in, get a view, smoothly away we go, mirror check, cancel signal, and up through the box. Slight leftward position here for extra view, speed limit is 40, and we're into 4th, which is a nice gear for this bike in 40 mile an hour. It's got a little bit of flexibility and it's got a little bit of relaxation, it's just nice. Although I may well use 3rd for the bend, which is just signposted and reinforced by the warning chevrons, so checking the mirrors, just matched rev gear change there. Didn't want to reduce speed, just wanted a bit more flexibility on the gear. So we just maintain the revs and then dropped it into 3rd, and I'm now going back up to 4th because this bend now is very, very sweeping. Hazard lines in force, holding a leftward position. Okay, closing the throttle, moving away from that junction, but no need to really. 3rd gear for flexibility, mirror check, bringing the speed right down, easing off the brakes for the bend. 2nd gear, assessing the junction, mirror check, gently on. Didn't need a signal, did consider it. Pedestrians with a dog, just to be aware of. Speed limit is 30, so it's going to keep the bike in 3rd at the moment. Warning road liable to flooding, just covering the horn button. Has he seen me? No, it looks like they're looking at something else, but anyway. Right, speed limit is 40, mirror check, debris in the road, gentle acceleration up to the speed limit where safe. And we've got the railway bridge there, road's narrow. See cars coming through, junction to the right, so I'm just going to reduce a little bit of speed and just match those revs down to a 3rd gear for flexibility, considering a horn warning, and just maintaining slightly less speed through here. We've got a concealed junction to the left, right mirror check, covering the horn, coming through gently, just make sure that junction is clear, looking well ahead, gentle gas, away we go when we're happy. Smooth gear change up into 4th just to relax the engine, and a near side position just to increase the view of the bend. Always take note of oncoming vehicles. I've noticed a lot of oncoming vehicles these days like to drive down the centre line or maintain a central position. I watched a van do it down here the other day. He was on his phone, you could see it clearly above his steering wheel. That early awareness of other vehicles' road positioning is so vital to you. Okay, series of bends coming up, we can see them through the trees, so I'm just going to check what's going on, set my speed with the gas. I don't need any brakes, so I'm going to go for a matched revs, gear change into 3rd for flexibility, so it doesn't slow me down, it just gives me a flexible gear. Just gently pulling the bike through the bends with very subtle throttle use, and then when I'm happy, relax back into 4th. We have the observational mirror there to be aware of. A low risk junction, Just covering the horn, just coming off the gas slightly, coming away from the hazard. Yeah, nice and stable, no issues. You can see through the bushes there that the road is bending round to the right, slightly broken road surface with gravel in places. And we see a series of warning signs: a right hand bend, a sharp deviation of route, road narrows, 30 limit, and some humps. So just easing off that gas. A little bit of brake. I'm going to go below 30 just for this. Let's have a third gear for flexibility. I'm going to slow it right down. Second gear. One oncoming bus, just seen above the trees there. A few vehicles going away into the distance with the lay-by concealed to the left. It's a 50 limit, 1 HGV in that lay-by. Road bending round to the right, so holding more of a central position just in case the HGV moves, and keeping ourselves away from oncoming traffic. Just going to move into the left here for an early view on the right hand bend, although not too extreme due to lower speed limits. Solid white lines in force, slight view through the trees, but not fantastic. A warning sign there is a series of bends, first to the right, then to the left. Road surface slightly cambering away, solid white lines in force. Caution, mud on the road, no vehicle behind. Just checking the mirrors, gently rolling off the gas. Limit point just starting to move away, but the bend is fairly sharp. Solid white lines still in force, and we can just see those vehicles moving away in the distance. A warning sign there of a junction to the right, no vehicle behind, positioning near side for early view of right hand junction, considering horn warning, slight brow of hill, the visor is slow for the junction. We're all good, rolling gently back up towards the speed limit now. Nice view of the road ahead, just smoothing the bend out slightly, no need to follow the exact contour of the road. Hazard lines in force. So observational mirror there, person operating a grass cutter or a strimmer, one vehicle emerging potentially to the right. Has he seen me? Just going to go for a more slightly lower gear for flexibility. Person waiting at the bus stop. So just occupying a central position. Now, the car was nice and stable, so it didn't matter to come away from the pedestrian, just that fraction. They were stable too, but always good to maximise safe space from all hazards. Just see the 40 limit coming into force now. A series of keep left arrows, probably preceding a solid white line, which you can just see now. Check the mirror, very slight adjustment due to speed limit. Flexible gear for third, no brakes needed. That vehicle's turning in, no vehicle currently waiting, but consider horn warning if necessary for the junction. We've got a junction there to the left. And oncoming vehicles, quite a large puddle there near side, but no problem to us. Just going to cover that horn button just in case someone appears at that junction at the last moment. Quite a nice view though. There's one car there, he's no issue. Pedestrian waiting at the bus stop, pedestrian on the opposite side. Some brake lights, red ATS, vehicles waiting. Considering whether I'm going to filter up or just stay put. The road's not that wide to be honest, and we do have a central island. One vehicle coming up behind, so just coming into the hazard nice and slow, no brakes at the moment. Just going to go very gently front back and come down the gears as I approach. Can't filter, not enough room, so having a good space in front just to control that vehicle behind who's coming in quite quick and close to me. So I'm just going to slow him down. There we go, got plenty of room there. Just going to relax the bike into neutral. I was going to, but we've already got a green. He's quite close behind, so I'm already aware of him. Rear observations, make sure no bikes are filtering before I pull away. Consider right lifesaver to move out to the other side of the road. Speed limit 30. And with the various parked cars, just being aware that doors may open, so creating a good space from them where I can, but having regard to oncoming traffic as well, because that's a safety issue. We can see a set of pedestrian lights ahead, currently on green. Vehicle behind is now nicely away from me, and they're just changing the pedestrian lights. Both brakes, front and back, third to second, coming in nice and slow. And yet again, he's very close to me, so I'm just going to hold back a little bit, create plenty of space in front. little bit of slow speed control, so didn't need to stop, didn't need to put the feet down. Rear obs before we move away, of course. Bit of clearance on that parked half of the van. Potholes with gravel, try and avoid those. Looking right to the end of the road, we can see a right hand bend. Just being aware of that vehicle waiting, don't want to get too close. He's going to go, so I'm just going to just cover the brakes just in case anyone turns across my path. No, we're all good. Cyclist is stable. Eyes to the end of the road. We've got a few runners there. Something going up here like a demonstration by the looks of it, or something on the right. And we've got a parked bus, followed by a set of pedestrian lights, one oncoming white van. So we're just going to slow it down a little bit there. Let's just get a view. This lot want to come through. Not really a sensible gap to go through, so we'll wait for a bit of clearance and have a bit of extra space. At a roundabout, we'll be turning left. An awareness of what's happening behind. Signal for the traffic behind. What's the traffic to the right doing? Not sure what that white text is doing yet. Blue one's stable, nice and clear. So we can see a pedestrian crossing, large pothole there, and a bit of a queue of traffic in the right lane. So we're going to be turning right here, delay the signal, there we go. So just slowly approach, down into first early, and then I'm going to come in with a bit of slow speed control, clutch slip rear brake. Can't see the van's mirrors, so I don't want to get too close. Similarly, I don't want to be too far back either, because I have to be aware of what I'm creating for the traffic behind me as the lanes split to two. So scanning the junction nice and early. Just because it's green doesn't mean it's clear. Looking for anybody who may jump the lights. Bus is stopping in the lay-by, so we're going to default immediately to the right hand lane, even though we want the left. Just be aware of the pedestrian crossing. Just try and create a little bit more space on the van. He's moving without a signal, that's fine. So we're turning left at the end, checking the mirrors, giving the appropriate signal. Looking all the way across to the right. This van is blocking my view of the roundabout partially, but as he's moving, shows it's clear. Away we go. Eyes to the end of the road again then. Assessing the next roundabout. Vehicle behind me just coming out into lane 2. Considering whether I could make a lane change to make progress. He's turning, the roundabout's fairly light, so I'm not going to rush. Could I cut the roundabout? Yeah, let's have a little roundabout cut and then we'll change the lane, because it's not going to create any problem there. Not getting in the HGV's blind spot. Let's wait till we've got a bit of clearance, and if we don't get the clearance, we'll just stay put. We're virtually on the speed limit anyway, so no point in pushing alongside. I'm already viewing up to the roundabout there. Just being aware of what the HGV might do as it gets to the roundabout. Coming in slow, considering any necessary filtering. At the moment, not really required. There's only a few vehicles here, so we're going to come in nice and slow. Bit of front brake, bit of back brake. Lose the front, control it on the rear, but a slow speed control if necessary. Yeah, let's go for a first and rear brake control, slow speed. We'll approach this roundabout carefully, and it's probably going to be a stop. What's that one? Has he changed his indicator? No, but he's still going committed, so that's lovely. Signal, a little lifesaver, and away we go. We'll stay in this lane because of that one emerging. Just assessing that road sign there. We're going to be turning left in a moment. Extended mirror check there. Could have done a lifesaver, didn't need to, knew what was there, but like to extend the mirror check. So just going to check those mirrors, slowing it down. Do I need any brakes? Not at the moment, but I'm going to go for a more flexible gear. Heavy's very slow on the bend, so I intend overtaking him off of the bend. So a little glance into my blind spot, I can change lane, I don't need a signal, and away we go. Speed limit 40, mirror check, back into lane 1. Slight brow of a hill, observing well ahead. Now Ev is just moving into lane 2, so I presume he'll be turning right at the roundabout. Something to consider as we approach the roundabout. As I approach the roundabout, I'm considering, do I need lane discipline, or can I take the easy route of straight lining it with more momentum and more stability? So he's quite a way back, so I'm going to go for an early third gear just for flexibility. Assessing the roundabout, all looks good, nothing to worry about. Let's just get straight on with it. Don't need a lifesaver, there's no one around, don't need a signal. Job done. So with a manoeuvre like that, not for your test, only post-test manoeuvre. 2 lanes into one, always just being aware of that convergence. There was no one alongside me, always like to double check just to be aware. Speed limit now 50, one vehicle ahead immediately. So a sweeping left-hand bend, although I don't want to be too far out to the offside. We have got a nice view, speed limit's only 50. Always be aware of oncoming vehicles encroaching towards or across the white line, so I'm just keeping myself fairly moderate, slightly offside but not tight offside. And here we go, temporary speed limit of 30, roadworks, and we can see some roadworks ahead, so just check those mirrors. Just slowing it down, got one red vehicle coming up behind quite fast. We've got a red traffic light, he's gone into lane 2, hopefully he is going to turn right. Sometimes get a situation where they come into 2 lanes and then cut across. Here we go. No, he's nice and stable. Come gently through the roadworks. Always looking for debris where roadworks are concerned. And then back to the 50. Junction's nice and clear. You can just see the start of a dual carriageway ahead. Junction to the right, just to be aware of. National speed limit is about to apply, there's no one behind. Once we pass the signs, gentle acceleration and away we go. So just using the limit point, being aware of the road surface, which is lovely and dry today. A warning there of cyclists, cycle crossing. So as we come along the dual carriageway here, I'm just glancing briefly with my eyes through those trees, trying to see what traffic's on the main carriageway. Considering a signal, not committing to one just yet. Do I need one? There's my gap. No, I don't. Let's get ourselves straight into lane 2. Job done. Just being aware of the on-slip here that may force traffic out in front of us, so don't be alongside vehicles or in their blind spot when you're passing these on-slips. A view right to the top of the hill there, so we can see all the traffic all the way ahead. Several HGVs or LGVs, one lay-by, one vehicle waiting. So we're just watching the traffic, looking at the spacings, looking at the speeds. Heavy vehicles normally go a bit slower on the hills, so expect other vehicles in lane 1 to move out to pass them. Just aware of a couple of junctions here to the left where vehicles may join us. Vehicle behind is a nice sensible distance away, that's all good. One vehicle there about to join. Just checking the mirrors and the blind spot to move back in for lane discipline. The large vehicle on the brow of the hill, silver car still closing up. I know that I want to take this next exit off to the left. The HGV is fairly slow, so we'll have a nice early lane 2. I've already checked my timings in my head. I know that I will be ahead of the HGV before the exit. Just be aware of vehicles that may be in the blind spot. Yeah, we're all good there. Sometimes they sit alongside of a large vehicle like that and you can't see them, so always make sure you check that out. Offside position for the left hand bend, changing to near side position for right hand bend. Warning of junction to the right, so it's to come off that gas, just gently come down. 2 gears lost there in one hit, 6 to 4. Considering a third, but the bike's pulling nicely, so 4's quite sensible. It says slow several times, it says it for a reason. Holding a near side position for maximum view on right hander. Just checking that offside mirror. Match revs gear changing to third for flexibility. Offside position for left hand bend. Just aware a little bit of gravel there. And then taking the next turning on the right. Gonna give a signal. Cars sometimes appear rapidly at the junction. I know no one else is about. Not getting too close to the white line either. Try and get a nice early view across the hedge and the fence there. Happy days, no problem. Didn't need the signal, but it's not a problem. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope it's given you some hints and tips. So until next time, ride safe and take care.